Peace family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I want to do is I want to talk to my chosen ones about how they are always looking to take you out, whether it's physically, spiritually, or financially. They are always looking to take you out, take me out, take us out, however you want to word it, whichever way it works for you, you know. And we all have a certain amount of witches in our personal life. And what I mean by that is kind of like, I understand that my mom was, however I would like to title it. I don't really give it a whole lot of energy anymore. But I realized for me that was one of the main witches that I had in my life when I was younger and to get to the point to where I'm at now. But I also realized as I start breaking away from this one over here, their team opted in to send another witch my way to hold the place of my mom, because she didn't have the same rank and pull over me anymore. And that's where my BM come into place, you know. And we all understand, like, you got a certain amount of time that you have to deal and operate with those kind of beings, especially if you got children in place with them. And it doesn't matter really, like, as far as what you doing, positive, productive, how much you care, how much you empathize, sympathize, you know, how much you've been backwards. Their intentions are just the opposite of yours. Even if you thought it was something that they may like, you know, say you trying to side with them because y'all trying to pick a color on something and you know they like yellow, but you happen to say, yeah, let's do the yellow one, I know you like yellow. In their world, they're opposition, so then they'll have to say something in the terms and meaning of, oh, well, maybe let's not do yellow this time, maybe we can do green. You know, I'm feeling more green vibey, or vibey green, or bluish yellow, or bluish red, you know. It'll be something away from the opposite color of what is their favorite color, which would put them in an oppositional position. When we out here and we deal with these witches and they in our personal space, we have to understand that it's their job, you know, to try to make us feel like shit. It's their job to try to belittle us. It's their job to try to knock us off our pivot, to crumble our buildings, any kind of work projects we doing, you know, to break our spirits, to hurt you financially. You know, maybe they get you to overspend when you're in a position where you need to save, or maybe they damage something of yours and now you have to pay for that when you had to put your finances elsewhere. We already know how hard inflation is right now, so people who operating and moving around as if it doesn't exist or they got all the money in the world, you gotta understand, these people are mentally challenged. And I'm just saying that being a smart ass is really just a demonic play on the book, you know what I mean? So you gotta have some light fun with it too, you know, because it's a battle. We've been doing this battle our entire life, you know. And I realized, like, the enemy doesn't have the same kind of hold and grasp on us unless they can lock in a physical component close to us. So some of us who don't have children with other people, you may have another physical representation that the spiritual oppositions can use to try to break you. So for instance, you got some men who don't have children, but the physical representation that they have of another form of a witch is their gaming console. I'm not saying gaming is bad, I'm just saying, like, if you don't, the gun isn't bad, it's the being behind the gun, right? So if this entity in the spiritual realm got you giving all your time to the game, then you really aren't doing the other things that you're supposed to be doing. Then it puts you in the space of feeling lesser about yourself, you know. And that's just as far as an example, is like using other components outside of the physical human body. But we all know, and they all know, that having another physical being, like the celebrities, they have handlers. We all understand the magnitude and the ability to be able to control and manipulate a little bit better when you have the actual physical vessel. So when you out operating in this field, right, for me, what I have to do is I have to realize, like, whether I feel the enemy is coming at me or attacking me or trying to do something, throughout my day, I have to sporadically bump over into defense mode, even if I'm not in a defending situation, because I understand that the opposition is still working. Just because we may be in the eye of a storm don't mean that it's not about to be a big hit afterwards. You know, some people come around and they drop booby traps on you, you know, in your house, in your car, at your job, you know, just out and about. They'll drop a booby trap and then they'll leave. And then they'll come back and check and see if that booby trap worked, you know? And it's really disgusting being in that vibration and understanding that, all right, well, I really just want to build and grow, and I just want to keep learning. I want to take on all these tasks and obstacles. I want to be in a peaceful place. I want to be able to go, you know, just somewhere. But at the same time, you have to understand that you got people that are working on you, entities that are working on you. There is a lot of things that's working against you. And the thing is like, we already got the system working against us. You know, we all out here slaving these dumbass plantation jobs. All of us out here slaving this weak ass shit. Every day we gotta get up and go to one of these weak ass locations where it don't even pay all our bills. You know, most of us, the way it's set up now, we gotta work 2-3 gigs, you know. So if you got the system already working on you, which is daddy, you know, and then the daddy send out their little minion workers, you know, I would consider that like my mom or my BM, like little minion workers, to keep an eye out on you like a handler, to make sure that they're constantly whipping and lashing you or trying to trip you every chance they can. You know, it's hard to take anything they do when they try to be nice. It's hard to take it with any sincerity. You know, so then it's a lot of wind. So then it's up to you as far as how you perceive what they're trying to give, which is quote unquote nice, you know, whether they're trying to be nice and give a ride, nice and lend a couple dollars, nice and lend an ear so they can figure out how to use all this information against you later. I had one of my buddies of mine who I socialized with. Me and him be going back and forth a lot, you know, but me and him been pretty cool for a while. And he is one of those people that, like, he see the light in people, he went crazy. He see the light in people, but he have a hard time understanding that they all, you know, depending on which playbook they're using, depending on how much of that light you're going to get versus that dark. And it's been numerous occasions where he came back to me like, bro, that shit crazy that you was right. I'm like, bro, it ain't even about being right. It's just about sharing my experiences and the knowledge that I have, you know? Like, I fuck with you. You my bro, so I'm going to make sure I share the right information with you so you can prepare yourself for the other witches that's lining up on the other side of you, you know? They come into your life trying to break you. You know, when you meet people and y'all trying to establish a friendship or a spousalship, anything in those spaces, you know what I'm saying? Rekindle family relationships. You gotta understand, like, it shouldn't be no friction there. It shouldn't be no friction there. It shouldn't be a bunch of weird mishaps and funky communications going on right in the beginning. When I start experiencing all that weird stuff in the beginning, it just lets me know which playbook they're using, and it puts me in a space of understanding, like, okay, you're gonna have to put out some God body energy at the door, right? So that way you can determine if you want to even continue to engage with them or not. And for a lot of us, we don't want to be isolated, so we choose to try to still engage with these people. This wind is going crazy. It be muffling out the sound and the mic, so it's kind of like the airplanes. When they start doing too much, I just try to slow down and let it pass through. A lot of the times when you are trying to allow things to pass through, like how we just did with that wind, you're gonna have to do things like put up a shield or a block, because while it's passing through you, it's gonna feel like a tornado or a hurricane. And we know that tornadoes and hurricanes, it comes with debris. So you're gonna have all kind of weird shit flying up at you and trying to hit you. So you gotta be prepared at all times. Even if you're having the most peaceful day and, you know, it's been super joyful, lit, light, you know, you're gonna have to take a portion of your time throughout that day, whether it's 30 seconds, 5 minutes, 20 minutes, to evaluate within, okay, let me make sure I got all my T's crossed and my I's dotted, or at least do what I can, because I know it's another entity out here working against me. You're not gonna be able to take no breaks. You know? When we take breaks, it's very seldom, and we have to force them. You know, we force them on ourselves, and then the creator is pushing us like, yo, you need to take a break. And we like, oh, how I'm supposed to take a break when you know I got all this going on? I got 1, 2, 3 to figure out. I got 1, 2, 3 coming at me, and I got 1, 2, 3 to do. You know what I mean? But the creator always let us know, like, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure that you are aware and on point of the things that I cannot do for you. You know, it's like a coach. Look at the creator like a coach. Like, the coach cannot get out on the court and play for you, but the coach can prepare you as well as it possibly can. The coach can make certain things happen at a certain time. So that was a little weird. This lady just let her dog out without a leash, and it just ran straight over here. Just completely sidetracked me just now. My fault. Coaching. You have to do the work yourself, you know? We got to put the footwork in ourselves. The coach can tell us how to play defense, but it's our job to get out there and execute the defense. The coach can show us how to score, but it's our job to go out there and execute, you know? And anytime you are on the offense, you know that there's a defense somewhere. And anytime you're on the defense, it's somebody on the offense trying to score, you know? So until we get to a better understanding of these things, you have to look at your life and the things you've been through. Look at all the things you have control over, and then look at the things that's been affecting you outside of your life that you don't have control over. The people that's been affecting you that you don't control. We don't control these people. Yes, to a certain degree, we can do mind manipulation, control people. For the most part, we are not out here controlling people. Your free will is, and your free choice is one of the biggest momentum pushers from the creator. You know, so when you vibe and move with the creator, your free will and your free choice, that's where you're going to get your most power and oomph from, you know? So with me understanding these things, I know that I always got a demonic, witchy ass BM that's always going to be trying to do some weird shit. You know, it don't matter how present I am, what I'm doing, the opposition had to transition my mom out the picture, because I had already basically took on that battle. She couldn't do the damage that she wanted to do. Still out here lit. It transitioned over. It literally was like a relay. My mom and my BM don't get along. They never have. They don't talk now. They didn't talk back then. Most witches that understand that they in that space, they don't fuck with each other. And then you'll hear a lot of the witches be like, I don't get along with other females. I only get along with men. Most men want the cheeks. So for you to just assume that men just are being your friends just to be your friends, you gotta understand that they have no concept of natural law or what's actually happening. No man ever said, hey, I want to be in the friend zone. They got placed in the friend zone, and they just stayed hanging out there and doing subtle things for this person that their man or husband or somebody would be doing. So while we out here in the middle of this battlefield, just keep your defenses airtight, you know. Keep your awareness as heightened as much as you can, you know. Be aware of all the booby traps and shit that they set up. Be mindful of the spells and the languages that they use when they communicate with you, and the ones that they don't use to communicate with you, how they try to avoid certain questions and statements that you use or say. You have to be able to understand that we all choose the words that we choose. We all do choose the actions we choose, you know. I could not move my body without me telling it to move. So all of this little subtle movement is me telling my body to move. You know, some things is autopilot and your body will just do it without a whole lot of thought or willpower to it. And then some things you actually have to put a lot of momentum, power, and energy into it, you know. So just be mindful. Just because you dump off one witch don't mean that the baton ain't get passed. They are here to take us out, to sabotage us, to do anything they can do to beat us down and belittle us. And it's our job to make sure we stand solid in that way. We keeping this realm operating. They want to destroy this whole realm. We have to keep this operating. I ain't want to run it up too long though. Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.